Hey friends, it is Sarah and I am joined with Kuthumi. I shouldn't say we finished the Rhythm of Further series at the end of June. And then I took some time off. The Rhythm of Further series was all about tapping into the rhythm of I am consciousness and opening up the fourth P, the passageways throughout all of creation. So, what that experience was like for the 28 lovely luminous beings who participated in it and contributed to it and created it, co-created, was really about bringing subjectivity through experience and expression, unique to you, unique experience to I am consciousness on earth. And as a byproduct, the passageways to all of creation were opened up. Each month we had a different passageway to open. The first one being softness. Then we went into texture and sensuality. And then we went into darkness, the unknown. Then we went into depth. And then we went into what was number 5, Kuthumi? I had these memorized. I am as identity. So instead of being the little human, allowing the light to shine through, you become the light. So the I am becomes the identity. We even used it in our words. How we talk to ourselves and how we talk to each other is so important. Kuthumi really stressed changing the language around, having my I am and my human. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful tool to get you to further, but really switching the transmigration rather than switching, but the transmigration or the switch, stretch and snap into really seeing yourself as a walking God also on earth. And it's all about opening the passageways up to all of creation and rooting in the soil, the Christ consciousness. So those were audio and video channels and articles. And we're in the process of putting them all into a book form, which we're going to make available to anybody who is registered on our site in the reader portal. I had a few glitches in the website. So if you tried to register, you were going to a different space in the website. I wear many hats here. I'm the writer, the speaker, the technology guru. We have help book formatting and translations and transcribing, but the technology piece is on me. So I fixed that glitch this morning. We ended our Rhythm of Further series around June 30th. And then I hosted a surf camp for, humans escaping their, jobs and everything else. So I went right back into working with people on connecting to the ocean and what I do as a side project, because somebody's got to pay the bills. And right now that's really helpful. We when I was with Moria, somehow or another, we came up with enough money to buy a villa in Mexico on the Pacific Ocean. And I don't know how we did it. That's how creation works. You look back, you go, wow, I did that. So somehow we came up with enough money to buy a villa in Mexico. And, when Moria was with me, he's like, don't worry, we're going to have all these people come and we'll be able to pay the bills really easy. So ascended master or Magi, and people are slowly coming and trickling in, but we still have to pay the bills there running a villa, a very, well, hello. How are you today, Arjuna? If you don't know, this is my poodle, Arjuna, and or Juniper or Basil or all the other names that he has. He is 2 years old now, and he's really taken over for Ollie and learning how what our job is and how it all works. And if you come to the villa in Mexico, you'll get to meet him. But what I was saying is somehow we managed to find the money to buy this beautiful property, and it is gorgeous with gardens and a pool that you can swim in. And we have bedrooms there for rent. We listed it on Airbnb to help pay the bills. But anyhow, I was working on the garden and changing the name of the villa, actually physically changing the name, pulling each stone out so we could put our new name, the Villa Usara, Casa Nueva Vida, based on Yeshua's, I am doing a new thing. Yeah, that's Junie. You gonna say hi to everybody? Juno was supposed to be a mini golden doodle, and there's nothing mini about him. He is a giant, and he sleeps in bed on a pillow like a human. Very interesting creature. I wouldn't even call him a dog. He is a creature from Theos, Shambhala, whatever we're calling it these days. And speaking of which, our next event on land, not online, on land is take a walk on Theos, and it's with Kuthumi, and he's going to walk us through walking on Theos. There's kind of a sense when we go into the consensus reality that this is the last lifetime, and then you're going to die, and then you can, after you die, you can go anywhere in all of creation. Totally true. That's not false. But Kuthumi saying there's a new way where you do not have to leave this physical form. You adapt this physical biological form through the light of awareness, and you're able to travel freely throughout all of creation, manifesting a body and unmanifesting a body. And it's not, for me, it's not science fiction. It's something that I feel is very real, and I am experiencing in a tangible way. There's not are you there yet? So if you're asking yourself, is she really there yet? That's really about you. That's not about me. So it's not really, there's no finish line here. You're in the infinitude of your beingness, and your body, your biology will match the infinitude of your beingness. There may be some people who choose to dissolve the body completely and go about it a different way. But Kuthumi and I are really focused on those who want to keep the biology to illuminate potentials, possibilities, probabilities, and passageways for the new human species. Speaking of the new human species, we wrote a book called The Magi's Definitive Guide to the New Human Species with all of you, and it took quite a while. And it has all 5 light body sessions. Kuthumi really wanted to introduce the beginnings of how the light body works, how it interacts. And he didn't have enough space to do that elsewhere. So we have, 7-8 hours of light body videos, and we have placed those on the website. If you go to our website and you click on the top and it says the light body sessions, you'll have access to all those for free. It's the reason we put the free materials out is first of all, the most important thing is there's been enough people who have taken them, embodied them, and grounded them in the divine soil of absolute reality, not relative reality, absolute reality. Absolute reality is not opposed to relative reality, so it includes relative reality as well. So once those are grounded enough, then we're able to give them out for free, and people can see if it's something that really calls to them. Then our hope is that they come join us in our intimate gatherings online in our programs. And we do charge for those programs for 2 reasons. Got to pay the bills. And second of all is we do small group calls, and we share deeply and intimately, and we keep those private to maintain a safe space for people who are choosing this full light body, full luminosity expression. And if everybody's gawking at them and commenting on them, it's not a safe space. The most important thing for allowing the light body is a regulated nervous system. You cannot allow the full luminosity in a dysregulated nervous system, which is, shallow breathing. You can see it and feel it in humanity. I was at the grocery store the other day, and this woman was talking, and the cadence, the rhythm of her voice was, and she was speaking from the top of her mouth. And I was like, I speak 2 languages, and I was like, which language is she speaking? I just can't understand her. And then I realized she's speaking English, and she's talking from a dysregulated nervous system, so I can't understand what she's saying. So I asked her, I said, ma'am, she wanted help. I said, ma'am, I really want to help you. Can you take a deep breath and then tell me what you're saying? And then she was able to tap into that deeper part of herself and speak from, the regulated part of the nervous system. So the dysregulated nervous system is the fight, flight, or fawn. It's the pendulum swinging into analyze, form an opinion. Analyze, form an opinion. Fight, flight, or fawn. I hate you. You're awful. Fight, flight. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And fawn. Oh, you're so wonderful. To try to like appease the perception of an outside force. There's no outside force to battle against. It's really hard for the mind to come along. One of the courses we still offer, it's a paid for course because it comes with a follow-up call with Kuthumi and I, and possibly a few other people. Maximum number 3 is called Samadhi and the End of All Suffering. Right. And the way to get to Samadhi and the end of all suffering is to go for the bliss first. Find the Samadhi first. Bliss, Samadhi, is your natural state of being. It already exists. So we go there first, and then the mind will come along. Most people, to get out of suffering, they want to untangle the mind. They're trying to untangle the mind, untangle the mind, untangle the mind. And the only way to do that is to just choose bliss, choose Samadhi, choose to stop suffering over and over and over again. And as you choose it, the mind rewires itself. I get emails where someone's in a dysregulated nervous system, or in what we call, Kuthumi and I are calling, the forest of distortion. Right? You're in the forest, and all of reality is being distorted, and people are after you, and someone has a comment on you, and it's not real. Right? So to get out of the forest of distortion is to choose and allow. Right? Choose and allow. I know people are like, choose and allow, but when you're in that dysregulated nervous system, it separates the human from the divine. And the only way they can come together is through allowing. Once human and divine combine, then you can command energy. You have a lot more options than allowing. You have a ton more options than allowing. But when you're in the separation, in the fear and the fight or flight or fawn, there's only one option, that's allow. However, the options really, truly open up when you're in a state of no separation. You can begin to command energy. And that's really what we're going to get into in the new human database. We're also doing the Divine Blueprint event next month. I want to keep this short, so I won't talk more about that, but it's going to be in book form as well. And so we've got a lot going on. When we finished the Rhythm of Further, I took a lot of time off and really tapped into new energy responding to new energy, rather than energy responding to consciousness. Energy does respond to consciousness, and then when the two coalesce, there's a whole new dynamic, a new energy physics that takes place. And there's a learning curve for the human to come along, because we're not ditching our human, we're not ditching our biology, we're bringing it all along. And when the soul goes back to spirit, and it creates the creator and his or her creation, then the energy dynamics change to new energy responding to new energy. So I've been witnessing, watching, and playing, acting, actor and observer as one in these new energy dynamics, physics. through direct experience expression. We use experience expression with little dash in between because there's no longer a divide between express and experience. Experience, wisdomize. New energy doesn't work like that. It is happening in a simultaneity. So I'm getting really in the weeds, but I just want to let you know that if you are interested, if you've been with us and you left and you want to come back, or you're brand new, you're welcome to join the New Energy Human Database. It's grounded enough where it's going to be a lot easier to come in. When we first started it, it was kind of blasting people, but the people who have been here and doing the work have really created and that's not even Kuthumi and I, that's you, the people who have been here, have really grounded these new energy codes into all of creation. And so it'll be a lot easier for you to come play with us. It is, the sign up is on the website. It says meet with S and K. And there are 22 spaces filled of 40. So we're not going to go above 40. So we can, and there's small group times, and we have them for every time zone. If we don't have one that fits your time zone, we make one. You know, it's really interesting to run a business that's not a business, you know? So I hope you'll join us in one of these things. And next week, because it got lost in the shuffle, Kuthumi and I and the Sovereign Collective published a book on February 21st. I'm like, grab it. Kathumi's like, where's your book? Okay, sorry about that. Kuthumi and I published The Era of the Magus book on February 21st, 2023. It kind of got lost in the shuffle. As you can see, it's nice, and it has full color images. It's a beautiful book, hardback. And it has the password for all of the channels that go with it, the audio channels. So we're going to have a call next week. You're invited. It's open to the public. If you want to come talk about the book, you don't need to have purchased it. You do not need to have done anything but show up, preferably on time, because it stresses me out if people aren't on time. And, you know, if you haven't seen it, this is the Magi's Definitive Guide to the New Human Species. All of the light body channels that are in this book are also on the website, and Aaliyah produced them, so they look really nice. It's not just me in my Walmart clothes. This is the first book we wrote with Kuthumi, and it says it's living in the garden of new life. And a lot of what Kuthumi talks about here, we're going back to and really diving deeper. He talks about Theos in here. He talks about going beyond the Atlantean dream. You know, he started getting us to feel into our 2023 selves in this book that was published during the pandemic in 2020. So I just wanted to touch base with you. I'm alive. I just really went into full silence mode for how long, Kuthumi? Almost 2 months. And Kuthumi even left me alone. And now he's back. So off to producing. You know, if human Lauren were in charge of anything, all I would do is surf and drink margaritas and not worry about anything else. But that's not what the divine will says. That's not what Kuthumi says. Whether it's my isness, my beingness, or Kuthumi, someone's always coming to pull me by the ear. Back here. This is what you're on earth to do. Come back here. Come back. Okay, so I'm here. Yeah, I'm a little wild, you know, totally natural hair color, natural everything. The idea of putting chemicals on my body is so strange. So if I look a little feral or wild, it's because I am a little feral or wild. When I'm not with you guys, I'm out tromping through the ocean and the marshes and talking to dolphins and sea turtles, and especially talking to Gaia a lot. I forget. Sometimes I go, oh, I don't have any friends, and Gaia pops up. She says, I'm here every day talking to you. So it's been really nice to have that friend. And she has stuff to say, but I'm not going to channel her right now. Or maybe I'll do that in a more intimate audience. Kuthumi has already started, and I have already started on the new human database materials. We are going into the history of the Magi, which predates Atlantis. At the beginning of civilization, there were Magi, and so they were called siddhas. So we did a video on another history of everything video on the Magi, siddhas, and what they have to show us. And maybe you were one, since it's all happening in a simultaneous reality. All right, I just wanted to let you guys know I'm here. I'm not going anywhere, and fully rooted in this biology and watching it adapt and change and be malleable. And, the mind was easier for me to come along, the mind stretching and snapping, going into consciousness, relatively easy. And there's a lot of ease in my body, but it's taken a more linear time for the body to really come along. The mind was very for me, and I know it's not easy for everybody else. And the biology for me has been a slow adaptation, and that makes sense. You don't want to fry your body, so watching just in the last 6 months, all the changes in the nervous system, and we'll go into that in the new human species. We'll talk about what Kuthumi and Babaji call the third nervous system. So instead of it being a dualistic system of rest and digest, fight or flight, sympathetic, parasympathetic, and the nervous system goes back and forth in this pendulum swing, right? Samadhi is the third nervous system. So you're not just always rest and digest, or adrenal glands, off we go, right? You're able to act and, surf waves from a regulated nervous system that is in the central channel. So yes, we're going to bring some Eastern wisdom along. And Kuthumi says he has a lot of stuff that doesn't fit into other modes of operation, other channels of channel streams. And it's just, he says, I need a place to put all my stuff. So Kuthumi, come on in, unpack your suitcase. You're welcome here, and we will not put a time limit on you, and we will not dress you up in funny clothes, I promise. All right, we are Sarah and Kuthumi. We are Love with You, and if anything, we hope to see you on our free Zoom call to talk about this book next week. The link is on the homepage of the website for the Zoom call. Any free Zoom calls Kuthumi and I are doing to make it easy for you is on the homepage of the website. It's also on Instagram under @NewEnergyCreator. We have that as a private page because I just don't have time for dealing with nastiness. Or robots, the bots, or, women dressed scantily, or dudes pretending to be someone they're not, all the internet stuff. So we have it, we have to, you send a request to follow, and then we'll just buzz you in the door, assuming you're not a robot or sex worker or something else. So yes, that's it. We are Love with You. We are Sarah and Kuthumi, and we hope you are having a good summer, or if you're in the bottom part of the world or the other side of the world, a nice winter. All right. See you on the Zoom call.